Okay, so good evening, everybody. Today, my name is Adeolu Akinyemi, and the role I want to play today is the role of a facilitator. I basically make knowledge available in the room, and I want to make knowledge available in the room. I want to be able to essentially bring everyone together today into a place of not just learning theoretically, but actually applying the things we've learned. So I'm going to be breaking our sessions this way. We've done about 4 sessions already now, and I'm going to break it today. And tomorrow we're going to have another person come speak with us, somebody that I respect a lot and I enjoy listening to. He'll be speaking with us tomorrow. And next week is going to be packed with a few of my very exciting friends that have done phenomenal things with the influence that they have in leadership positions that they occupy, and basically in leading, in their spheres of influence. So we're going to have back to back a number of exciting conversations, a number of exciting people. So next week, tomorrow, for example, we're going to have Dr. Kachi Onubogo, who has been marketing head, marketing lead, MD in a number of companies. We're going to hear about him tomorrow and listen to him tomorrow. And next week, we're going to have Benga Sheson of Paradigm Initiative. They currently have operations in about 6-7 countries in Africa. They're doing well there. And then next week as well, we're going to listen to, next week to, I believe, the MD of GB Foods. We're going to have a very interesting lineup to listen to. So I want to welcome everybody who is here today. Today is more of housekeeping. I want to ensure that the things that we're learning are being put to use, and we're begun to really implement, we're beginning to really implement the things that we've been learning. So today I want to bring what we've been learning to a little bit more of a practical space as I lead the conversation on leaders exemplify. And in order to make this conversation very exciting as well, let me try and see if I can push it out of our current space and ensure that people can also listen to this from other places as well. So I'm going to put it on. A page that I manage, and that page will be put it on. Let me just put it on Deolu Akiyemi, so that people can basically, also connect with us from there and listen in as well. Of course, very clearly, I'll be managing the conversation only here. Sometimes it's good to let people outside the direct space that you're sharing with also learn something about what is being talked about. So today we're going to continue in our conversation on leadership. And I'm going to ask a few questions, and I'd like you to join me in those conversations to see how we can make this work. It's going to be exciting, essentially. So let me take that live, and then let me come back to our group so that we can go on. Good. So I'd like to ask you a question very quickly today as we begin to start. Have you started implementing the things that you've learned? So over the course of the last 2 weeks, we've learned, this is the third week, we have learned why leadership, we've learned leadership, leaders Envision, we've learned about leaders engage and enlist, and we've learned about leaders empower. I'd like you to type in the window today if you have started doing something actively about what you're learning. If you've started doing something active about what you're learning, just write it down in the window or start doing something, and then share with us what you have been doing. Okay, so let's get a little feel out from you exactly what you have been doing about your leadership. Now, leadership is something that is extremely important. I like something that we're taught when we're talking about leaders in power. That says, "What is normal?" by Peter Drucker. That what is normal in an organization is confusion, is chaos, is underperformance without leadership. That once you remove leadership from any organization, they will underperform, there will be chaos, they will be confused, they will not achieve their highest potentials. So leadership is compulsory. It's not whether or not you want to have leadership, we have to have leadership. We need leaders, okay, because they help remove the friction, the confusion, and the underperformance that happens in organizations generally. So for your organization, and all of us are leaders in our own right. So either you have a family, either you have a spouse, either you have people who report to you in the office, either you have the business you are running, whatever it is you find yourself, you realize that you, in a capacity or the other, we are leaders. And what qualifies us for a higher level of responsibility is how we handle our small levels of responsibility. And I want comments here today. I want you to evaluate yourself and say, what have I begun to do? So I see somebody here say, I've started implementing leaders Envision, and it has started changing the responses for my team. Okay, that's beautiful. So Wakite says he has started implementing and already is changing the responses from the team. I would like us to share today. So today is a day of sharing to say, what have you started doing? We've started learning about leadership. We've seen how important it is. We've seen the fact that all of us, we may not be leaders positionally because hierarchically nobody gave us and said be a leader, but we are all leaders in one way or the other. So in the place you are leading, in the organization you are leading, in the family you are leading, in the church you are leading, the ministry you are leading, in everywhere where you are a leader, what have you done with what you have learned? Okay, because today we want to talk about leaders exemplify, which basically means leaders lead by example. And somebody said this, one of the trainers says as well, I think it was Alex Goma, that shared with us that if you want to be a leader, a proper leader, you should spend 40%, I think it was, development tile, that you spend 40% of your time actually developing your own personal leadership. That it is only those who have led themselves that can command the respect of others. And it's very simple. You first of all need to win a private victory before you win the public victory. You first of all need to exert authority and discipline over your own self before others can be added to you. Faithfulness in little is what qualifies us for much. That if I am not able to lead my life correctly or agree to certain principles and values to align myself with so that I choose my direction irrespective of what happens around me, then I will not be a leader independently. And if I'm not a leader, then how do I lead others? Somebody said, MI said, I've become more deliberate about empowering members of my team. Okay, so for me as well, that word empower was a light bulb moment and realizing that empower goes beyond training people, goes beyond educating people. Empower actually means delegating power, delegating authority, inserting power into people's lives and making them capable of doing more, basically representing and replacing you in the places where you are. Okay, so I've been giving them what to do and let them do it their own way. Okay, so very good analogy. You take your children, you teach them how to shoot, and then of course you give them the bow, you give them the arrow, you help them and guide them to point, and you allow them to release it themselves and to do whatever. So empower. Very good. Anybody else tonight? Okay, because what I want to do today is because I have no other panelists, I'm going to be introducing and inviting some of you to join me on the panel today. So your face will show with mine, and then we'll discuss together. You will ask your questions, and we'll see how we can roll with this. Someone says, I've learned to listen more from the people I lead. Okay, I'm encouraging them more in the business. Okay, so good. I want us to be able to take this into practice. So, one of the things I find, and I find it in scriptures as well, it says there's a category of people who are ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge of truth. That there's an angle with which you look at information and education that you are thrilled. You are thrilled by hearing. You are thrilled by learning. Your note is full, like my note is full. This is a sample of my notes, so I write notes, I type notes, I hear something exciting, I jot it down, I document it somewhere. But, it takes discipline to go beyond typing. It takes discipline to go beyond writing the visions and writing what you are learning. It takes deliberate, intentional effort to say these things that I've learned, how do I interpret it into my business, and how do I implement? And that's what I want us to do today. I don't want us to go far in this journey before we recalibrate and ask ourselves, they're not talking about your president. They're not talking about your governor. They're not talking about your upline. They're not talking about your MD. That all this conversation about leadership is about you, because the objective we want to achieve with this is if we can help people truly develop personal leadership, we will begin to change our communities. We'll begin to change our cities. We'll begin to change our nation. Okay, and it starts from you. So I'm going to take a few thoughts that people have said as well. Someone says, it is good actually to lead because it allows for weakness to be exhibited and harnessed, say weakness and turning into strength. Okay, these are interesting philosophies. So I'm more intentional of developing myself and the 40% of myself, and I'm delegating my team, more aware of the aim of developing more leaders. Okay, so I'm more aware, I'm more conscious of developing more leaders. Okay, so leaders don't build followers, they build other leaders. So these are conscious things. Again, I make the team know that mistakes are normal and don't dwell there for long. I pick the lessons from it and I turn to glory. So you are using the PULE method, previously unidentified learning experience. Okay, PULE, previously unidentified learning experience. Okay, or what they call fail, first attempt in learning. Okay, so very good. People are trying a few things out. So today, I want to take that conversation forward to say, you know what, if we will be effective leaders, then the case study of what we learn, first of all, needs to be applied on us. Okay, someone says, I've learned to start working on myself. I'm internalizing what I've learned so far. 40% I've invested in development of myself. Now, so I want us to go a little bit beyond internalization this evening, and I want us to go to practice. So consider me today more than just a teacher, but like a coach. I want to take you through a process, and you can ask me direct questions that can help you in particular harvest the learnings and begin to take action. Now I have slides. I'm going to be interfacing. I'm going to be, jumping in and out of slides. So I'll have the slides up, I'll have the slides down, and then, I'll take us through it. So leaders exemplify. Leaders lead by example. Leaders are very conscious about what example are we creating? What exactly are we allowing people to learn and see from our actions? So today, I want to have that conversation with you. And I want us to be able to take ourselves from, yes, I came to class and I learned, into this is what I have started doing based on what I have heard, or this is what I can now do. I've realized that is what I can do. I realize as a leader, it's good to be constructive, to take constructive learning from people I lead, because it really helps me to make me better. Okay, I've learned to allow others to ahead, invest confidence in them, and allow them to take up the challenge. Okay, very good. So we've learned a few things. So and there's this very interesting concept called exemplary leadership. And some guys authored a book, and it's an interesting book. I've not read the book myself, but I've seen a lot of research on it online, and I think it's exciting. So they call it the 5 practices of exemplary leadership. And they said that if you want to be an exemplary leader, there are 5 key practices. And I'm sure throughout this course, we're going to be handling all of this from insights from industry leaders, from business leaders who will share with us how they have implemented these things practically. They'll give us examples in their own cases. They'll give us a variety of things. I was chatting with Alex a few days ago, and he was saying, look, some of the things that we need to do will take us, it can take people 6 months to discover their purpose. So the concept of discovering your purpose and finding your why and finding the core of why you are here and what you want to do can take time. And of course, so leaders are not built in a day. It takes a process. And by the time we will have gone through all of this and learned the things, and I can see we're doing the tests and we're doing exams, we'll have learned a lot, about leadership. And we'll have covered some of these key elements in exemplary leadership, maybe even more, because we're going to be talking about envision, engage, enlist, execute, empower, enable, encourage, educate, and exemplify. We're going to talk about the number of E's about leadership. So today, I want us to be able to look at, okay, so these things I'm learning, okay, I need to model them. And I think the key word for me here is model. I need to model what leadership is. If I am going to ever be able to lead somebody else, then I must first of all come to terms with what leadership is and begin to implement leadership in my own life before considering others. So I first of all need to have a personal vision. I need to be very clear about my personal vision. I need to have something that inspires me. I need to be able to engage my faculties, engage my body, engage myself in following that vision. So for example, if I have a vision of a trim body size, 6-pack, and a particular look, that doesn't require anybody else. That requires me. I need to be able to keep my promise to myself. I need to be able to take the discipline of doing whatever needs to be done to ensure that I can get the objectives that I desire to get. So I need to be able to envision, I need to be able to engage and enlist, and I need to start with myself. And then I need to begin to empower different aspects of my life that may not have been empowered ordinarily, to ensure that that power is available to do the things that I need to do. So these are very crucial and key things, that we want to be able to implement. Just a second. I think I have someone trying to reach me. I need to get MI to help me reach Pastor Simeon, so that he can help me have the conversation with him. Okay. So I'm going to continue. So if you can get that, just please let me tackle that so that I can focus on getting this done. Okay. So essentially, what have you done? What have you done with what you have learned? What exactly have you implemented with what you have learned? What exactly have you done to say, okay, look, I've learned this. What exactly have I done? What exactly has my activity been like since I've learned them? Okay. So we're going to look at those together. I'm seeing a few thoughts that people are sharing here. The thing is, the whole training is affecting everything about me. I began talking and doing everything from the standpoint of a leader always. I found that people need to be understood before making them understand you. Very good. I've learned that as a leader, one needs to first define his goal, mission, and vision. I have to learn to operate under other leaders as a leader. Are not meant to be frontline at all times. Okay, very good. These are very good thoughts and very good things to do. Okay, so okay, excellent. So I can see, we're doing a variety of things. So the first key thing here is that leaders model the way, and we're going to do an example of modeling the way today. I want to just explain why is that important and what does it mean exactly. Okay, and what this means exactly is once I begin to model the way, what do I want to do? I want to clarify what exactly is important as a leader. What is leadership? What is important about leadership? And how do I begin to align my actions with the things that I know are crucial and important? And based on this alignment, how do I begin to model this is how a leader behaves? So if I'm going to ever be able to lead others, if I'm going to lead others, I must show the first lesson for myself. Okay. And when I do this correctly, what begins to happen? What begins to happen is whatever it is I'm driving stops being mine. It stops being about him or her. It now becomes our. Okay. That leadership is what converts what would have been my goal into our goal. It's what turns into what will have been me into people who are following you going we. Leadership, when it's exemplified, creates a dimension where it's not about him, it's about us. It's not about me, it's about we. Okay? Leadership also engenders respect. If you lead by example, people know that what you are asking them to do is not what cannot be done. You are participating in it. You are getting your hands dirty in the brutal task or brutal activity of leadership. And by doing this, the people that you're working with will trust you. And when they do trust you, then it makes the journey easier. So you have trust and respect for people you're working with. They feel you're not asking them to do things, you are doing it with them. You're giving them an opportunity to participate in the things that are being done. Okay, so this is important. Okay, and then of course, by participating as a leader and getting involved in modeling the way, you define your spoken minimum standard. So everybody gets a cue that this is the minimum I want to do if I want to be able to follow along with this. So everybody around you knows, okay, leadership is giving us an example of how it should be done. If this person is so busy and is doing so much, then what excuse do I have not to do more? Okay, and there are many ways to apply all of this and many things to do with this. I want us to begin to model this today with things that we have learned. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I would like us to be able to talk from those few questions, okay? If I have your permission. If you've done, just let me know so that I can know that it's been sorted and continue, okay? So one of the key things I would like us to look at, as well, in this part of, what we have learned and what have we done with what we have learned, I'd like us to be able to quickly look at a few of those thoughts together. So the first thing that we learned was about leaders envisioning, okay? And I'm going to talk, we're going to look at the private victory, we're going to look at public victory, but I want us to look at this as well, okay? And I want to ask you a few questions. I'd like to have your answers because these are the things that I want us to look at. So we learned, why is leadership important? Okay, and if I can help you there, so maybe I begin to help you in that particular side. So why is leadership important? Leadership is important because without leadership, everything will collapse, okay? Everything will collapse. Animals have leaders, okay? Animals demonstrate a need for leadership because they will not be protected, they will not be effective, they will not achieve their highest ideals, they will be picked up by other animals if they don't have leadership. Leadership is crucial. Okay, Peter Drucker says in every organization you will have friction, confusion, and underperformance if there is no leadership. So if you are not operating with leadership, you are not effective, you are not high performing. You'll be quarreling, you'll be fighting, there'll be division. So leadership is what brings everything together and channels all the resources and energies in a desired direction. So leadership is important because as organizations, we will rise to the level of leadership. As individuals, we'll be productive to the level of our leadership. Our children will comply and align to the degree of our leadership. When I was growing up for a long time, I used to wonder, why is it that some very good people have children that turn out negatively? And I've asked that question to say, is it because they are pastors and they don't have time? Is it because they're teachers and they don't check what's going on at home? What exactly is this factor that's responsible for parents going in a particular direction and children following a contrary direction? And you can ask that question over and over again. If you get to an organization, you'll find a similar thing. Very solid CEO, but everybody, is going the way that they want to go. What is missing largely most of the time is leadership. So you can have very nice, very good, very high quality people, and there's no leadership there. It means nobody's going to follow them. I like the question that Alex asked us, the book he was reading. What qualifies, for people to follow you? Why should anybody follow you? Why anybody will follow you is because these things you have heard, you have not just heard them, you have implemented them. You have taken them into practice, and you have said, based on these key things, based on the things that are happening right now, this is what I want to practice. This is what I'm going to do to ensure that I can, demonstrate. I'm listening, learning, and doing. Okay, I'm aligning the things I've come to believe in my practice. So the very first key thing that we learned was Envision. And I'd like us to look at it very simply. So before you begin to lead anybody else, before you begin to share a vision with people, do you have a vision? Okay. Does your organization have a vision? What's your goal? What do you want to, 10 years from now, what will your reality be? And I'd like us to type it in that window. Okay. So I want us to have this conversation. And I would like it if you can, copy at panelists and attendees. If you like, if it's private, you can send it to me. Okay. I trust me. I'm going to see over 50, so I'm not going to memorize your own. And if you want me to memorize your own, you may have to pay me to do that. Okay. But 10 years from now, what do you see? What's your 10-year from now vision? So the year 2030 comes, and by God's grace, you are alive. I'm alive. We're alive. Some of us are 60. Yes, take 10 years more. And more than that. Some of us are 80. Please, by all means, take 10 years more. You are in good health. You're happy. You're alive. You're well. 10 years from now, where will your company be? 10 years from now, where will you as an individual be? Okay? If you have not taken time out to envision your desired future, what thinks you are qualified to lead somebody else in showing them a vision? Okay? What if you don't have a vision yourself? That means you are a ship on the seas without a particular destination. How can somebody board you and go anywhere? Okay? How can somebody board you and go anywhere? So this is very important. What's your 10-year goal? What are your aspirations? Where will you be 10 years from now? Where will you be? Okay? Where? What will be your reality 10 years down the line? What will you be doing? What will your family look like? What will your company look like? What will you look like? What will your finances look like? What will your social life be like? What will your impact be like? What will your influence be like? In the balance, in the wheels that make up the human life, what is the picture? What's the picture of this future? And you may not be able to capture the picture in all of those very glowing terms, but do you have a picture? Because, ladies and gentlemen, leadership, first of all, starts with envisioning. And like Alex taught us, it starts with your mind. It's how you think that becomes your reality. And if you are thinking small, then your vision is small, and then your reality will be small. If you are thinking big, then there's an open space in front of you. But of course, that your vision needs to be grounded in reality as well. So of course, it doesn't stop with a vision. There are people that have great vision, but they are not leaders, because between the vision and reality, there are a number of other steps. There are people to engage and enlist. There are people to empower. Okay, there's work to execute. There are people to engage. There are people to enable. Okay, there are different things to do until you get to a particular dream. But the first question I want to ask you today is, do you have that vision? Do you have a picture that gets you excited? Many times in business, people get discouraged. Yeah, many people get discouraged. People get to points in their journeys where they feel like, man, let me just get something else to do and just relax from all of these struggles. But guess what? What keeps you going? What keeps you excited? What keeps you inspired? What gives you the ability to be able to lead others is because a light bulb has gone off in your head. There's a picture of the future that you see. You see that it's going to cost you time. You see that it's going to cost you effort, but you're willing to pay the price to get there. My question to you today is, do you have a vision like this? Ladies and gentlemen, if you come for these classes and you do not allow the lessons you're learning to begin to impact your own life, then we really have not begun. Yeah, where it starts from. And I tell you this, every man's dream is like an index that defines their life, their future. Okay, two little boys, they are both age 10 years old. One says, I want to be a teacher. The other says, I want to be president. Who told this one to say teacher? Who told this one to say president? Their internal innate desires. Okay, and those desires are God created. And I tell people, before I tell people, William Wallace says desire is possibility seeking expression, meaning that the fact that you have a desire is an indication that something is possible. I usually say that everything that man will eat was created before man. So when man had appetite for crabs, it wasn't because crab was yet to be made, but it was an indication that crabs already existed. Everything that we will feast upon, everything that we will enjoy, everything that we will delight in, did not come after the desire. We have a proactive creator who ensured that the things that we will desire were made before we came. And the only way we are able to begin to draw our attention to the things that are ours is with that force of desire. So that force of desire basically stirs you to say, look, Diolu, if you're hungry, it means there's food. If you want to be president, it means it's possible. If you want to be a teacher, it means somewhere in your DNA, you are set for that teacher. Anything that you want to achieve, there's an indication. Your desire is an indication that it's possible. So this life is like a buffet. But guess what? That desire begins to be channeled the moment you set a destination for it. So you say, I have a desire to live a particular quality of life. That desire needs to fuel my imagination, to begin to create a picture of a future that I want. And then the journey of my life becomes how I move from where I am to where I'm going. Everybody in this life is somewhere. Everybody in this life better have somewhere they're going. Okay? Because if I don't know where I'm going, I'm going to board the wrong bus. I'm going to join the wrong company. I'm going to find myself moving up and down. In the same time I will have used to reach my destination, I will have traveled around in circles and reached nowhere. Okay, so rather than jump on a treadmill and have 10,000 kilometers in front of me, I can as well take that journey and be on my way to Ibadan, if that's where I want to go. So it's very important, ladies and gentlemen, have you taken out time to craft your vision? What is your vision? I have two people here who are taking time to craft their vision. If you have not crafted your vision, it's not too late. You can do it now. You can do the first glimpse of it now. And how do you do it? Very simple. You have a desire. You have an appetite. Now, of course, one of the things that was shared with us is you need to challenge this your thinking. You need to challenge, this your vision. You need to challenge, why am I looking at it this way? Am I looking at it this way because of my past? Or am I associating with people that are inspiring me to do more? Am I listening to people's stories without criticism, without judgment, and allowing those stories to impact me to want to do more? Okay, or what exactly am I doing? Am I excited? Am I interacting with people and catching a glimpse of, wow, how can my age mate, my friend, like we're living in the same place, begin to have dreams of seeing the world when all I'm thinking about is moving from, Ilorin to Ibadan? So other people around us begin to challenge our dreams. And that's why I want you to write your goals and your dreams down today, because you challenge somebody else. Someone says impact at least 10 million young people, especially from Africa, with the advanced IT and programming skills, and become the fountainhead of innovation to the world. Okay, so this person wants to be able to empower 10 million African youths to do that. Now, of course, this goal is a big goal. Inside this goal is the finances to make it happen. Inside this goal is the skills to aggregate these people and bring them to a place of learning. Inside this skill is the ability to learn the things that they want to be taught. Inside this skill is the ability to lead the people that will become secondary teachers to make this happen. So this goal, beautiful goal, but this vision begins to let you know, I need to engage people. I need to enlist them. I need to empower them. I need to execute. I need to enable and educate. I need to energize. Okay, I probably need to join them in executing to make it happen. I need a strategy. I need a plan. Okay, but it starts from a vision. Okay, someone else says, yes, 10 years from now, I'll be financially free. Okay, I like that. I'll have a system sponsoring children to school, empowering women. I'll travel to 10 different countries, stating the power of vision to women, and and trying to find what they need to do to succeed. So I like this vision as well. So Felicia is saying, 10 years from now, this is what I want to do. I want to be financially free. What does that mean? It means I want to build a system around my life that I will not need to hustle to make money. I will simply be able to have passive income coming from me that can take care of my needs. I will have the comfort and freedom to be able to travel around the world. She's passionate about creating a system for sponsoring children to go to school. So she wants children to go to school. She wants to have scholarships. So we want to have Felicia Olubusola Adesoya scholarship, or Felicia Olubusola Adesoya foundation. Okay, that sponsors children to school. She wants to be involved in women empowerment, to travel to 10 different countries, stating the power of vision to women and trying to find, how to help them succeed. Now, these are very colorful and exciting things. But guess what? Somebody says, set no small goals. They have no power to ignite the soul. If I tell myself that what I want to do is I want to have enough money to just be able to eat. What do you think I'll be here tonight? Do you think I'll be doing seminars every day? Do you think I'll be organizing events? Do you think I'll be, driving the product I'm driving and trying to see if we can do 1 billion naira a month? No, I won't do any of those things because my vision will not inspire me or stir my soul to want to do them. Except I have something huge and gigantic that I want to do. That's what will control my energy. Okay, so if somebody says to me, take a car, take a very good Ferrari and drive to Ibadan, but guess what? You can get there in 12 hours. If you say I can get there in 12 hours, I'm going to be branching at every booker around the way. I'm going to be urinating at every bus stop. I'm going to be carrying people along. In fact, I can go there and not even park, still come back again. My life will be in circles to the degree to which my dream is stretched. So, have no small dreams. And if your dreams are small, ladies and gentlemen, find someone to challenge you. Okay? Because many times you don't know our full potentials until you begin to engage with others and realize, really, you want to do that. This person that wants to do all of these things doesn't have 2 heads, doesn't have more skills, doesn't have more education. It just has a bigger dream. And that dream sometimes is a function of exposure. So the reason why we're exposing ourselves to these trainers, to these classes, is so that they can tell us. I can listen to Alex Goma's story of somebody who was doing a business of 200,000 naira a few years ago, and the business is currently worth billions. Now, that 200,000 naira will have been enough money to travel out and relocate in an inglorious way. So you travel, have no visa, have one-way visa, visiting visa, find a way to corner himself there, normalize himself there, and you probably do it in a gross way. And then you get a career, finally, probably make it right along the way, and then be any what. But this same person has selling Pampers, Always Vicks Lemon Plus, built a 7 billion naira business from 200,000 naira. And all they took was the vision to see that future, and it gradual step by step compounding until it happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, he wants to do the same thing. I have John here, says, in 10 years, financial independence for myself and my mentees, committed to Pan-Africanism and self-reliance, group of like minds, solve Nigeria problems with IT skills, knowledge, a local solution for our local problems group. It is exciting. So he doesn't say, what, my dream is Pan-African. I have a vision for Pan-African. Interestingly, the beautiful thing with goals and dreams is if you don't keep quiet about them, somebody will hear it one day and say, what, can you join us here? The way life is wired, things meet you along the way. Vision is powerful. I tell people vision is like setting your sails. The winds don't need to recognize which direction you will set your sails. The winds will align. The winds will somehow help your journey. I tell people when a ship captain wakes up in the morning, he doesn't pray, God, let the wind blow in my favor today. No, he sets his sails. Because if God answers the prayer of every sailor that is praying for the wind to blow in that direction, what we will have every day is whirlwind. But because God doesn't want to say whirlwind, he doesn't listen to it's not their prayers that it determines how he says his wind. In fact, I like what the Bible says. It says the wind blows the way it likes. So the wind is going to blow the way it likes. If you set your sail north, the winds that are not favoring your course will cancel out. The ones that are favoring your course will move you forward. I was watching a documentary yesterday of Bruce Lee, and forgive me, I like Bruce Lee. I've always fantasized about Bruce Lee. I've always marveled at the fact that Bruce Lee possibly, and I confirmed yesterday, died before I was born. But guess what? My children know Bruce Lee. And I was telling my children, do you know Bruce Lee? I said, Daddy, yes now. How will I know Bruce Lee? I know Bruce Lee. I know Jackie Chan. Anybody that knows Jackie Chan will know Bruce Lee. I said, really? You know Bruce Lee? He said, yes. I said, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was dead before I was born. 1972, Bruce Lee had died. He said, really? I said, we know Bruce Lee. So we watched the documentary of Bruce Lee together. And I saw something very interesting. So while all of his angle was, he went to school, he went to dishwash in America, he was doing all of those things in America. Somebody advised him to go to school, saw potentials in him. He started a training school, actually, for Kung Fu. And then somewhere along the line, somebody called him and said, that thing I just did now in this Kung Fu class, can you come and do it on television? And that's how the channel and pathway to movies came from Bruce Lee. What am I saying? I'm saying your vision has a way of connecting you to people, connecting you with who to engage. Because guess what? Somewhere within our dreams, somewhere within those visions, there is some interesting nexus. they connect together somewhere. And it is where they connect and where our goals and our visions become shared. That's your opportunity to engage. That's your opportunity to enlist others in your vision. Because guess what? You are not going to take over my own vision and cause me to go in another direction. But where we have a commonality, it's easy for me to be engaged in pursuing your own vision. It's easy for you to be engaged in pursuing my own vision. So together we can achieve it, can achieve it more. And that's combining 1 and 2 together. So lovely goals and visions there. Okay, I can see that many of us are waking up and we're beginning to enlist ours and all of that. Very good. I'm going to look at this and go through them. Ladies and gentlemen, you need to form this picture. Guess what? This picture is not perfect. This picture usually is in language that is not inspiring. Usually is in language that is not colorful enough. Okay? How many of you still watch black and white television? Okay, we don't watch black and white television. In fact, we don't watch color television. Now we're into HD, we're into 3D, we're into 4D, we're into the television becoming clearer and cleaner and and almost real life. Very soon we'll soon go into holograph where we'll not have any television. We just watch the characters playing the drama in our rooms. Okay, we're going for more and more reality. We want it to be crystal clear. The same thing with your vision. Some of us are describing our visions in terminologies that are like black and white. What does that mean? It means it's boring. It means it's not exciting. It means it doesn't fire. It doesn't spark me. It doesn't cause me to be excited. It doesn't, and guess what? Maybe it excites me, but my vision needs to be cast in a picture format that becomes inspiring for the people that I need to engage. So the first lesson we learned was about Envision. And I'm sorry, this my division class is supposed to be 1 hour. I have another meeting at 9 o'clock and I will close it, I'll close it just before that time. So wherever I reach, we'll probably start it again when we have another class. We'll create the opportunity again for these revisions. Your vision needs to be painted in a picture that is inspiring for you and that allows you to tell a story to somebody else that is inspiring for them. Okay? So as I'm reading and I'm seeing your vision, so I saw somebody here who is talking about governor. Okay? So this is 10 years from now, I want to be able to have a foundation that is empowering the less privileged in our society, and the worth of my business to be 1 billion naira. Okay, that's healing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing that can make it into your goals that cannot make it into your reality. And that's because there's no destination that is illegitimate. Okay, and this for me is very simple. I can go anywhere. I will need some things. So if I want to go to the US today, I will need money for tickets. Yeah, if I am able to get 100 friends to donate 10,000 naira to me each, my ticket money will be complete. So I don't even have to work for it. I just need to know that 1 million is what I need. And I need to ask myself, 1 million, what's 1 million? 1 million is 1,000 in 1,000 places. 1 million is 10,000 in 100 places. 1 million is 100,000 in 10 places. 1 million is 1 million in one place. Yeah, I just need to be able to break it down. But first of all, I want to go to America. I need tickets. I need visa. I need money to spend while I'm there. I need someone to invite me. I need a reason to go. So once the vision is clear, there's no illegitimate destination. There is no destination that is illegitimate. You only need to find it within your desire and then paint the picture of it that is clear enough, that is 3D, HD, full premiere enough to inspire you on a daily basis. Full 3D, 4D, full picture enough for you to be able to instruct somebody else and guide them in the direction they want them to go. In the direction you want them to go. So you need to be able to create, so Ellen, for example, you take this your vision and say, 10 years from now, it needs to be compelling. I need to be able to hear this vision and say, how can I help? How can I contribute? I like what you want to do. It's going to make some of what I want to do not necessary anymore. How can I support you? How can I help you make this big? Okay. So you need to be able to clearly define that vision. And that's what Alex taught us. He said, what? He didn't just tell us in very direct terms, but what you need to do when you listen to that is sit down and write your own vision. You're painting a picture. That's not the only thing you need. That's one of the things you need. It starts from belief. From belief, it gradually moves through a process till it gets to action. Yeah? It ends in action. But it starts from a belief. You need to be able to be externally focused. Don't just sit down with yourself and say, this is my dream. No. Engage others. Get your perspective. So your belief informs your thinking informs your action will inform your results. There is no decision that is illegal. I tell people, from where I am today, I can get to Brooklyn. The problem I can have is when I step out of my house in Ikeja today, I stop a taxi and I tell the taxi Brooklyn. Okay, that becomes illegitimate because I am asking my taxi driver who doesn't have the capacity to take me an entire journey to take me to Brooklyn. He will suspect that I'm mad. And sometimes when you see people voice dreams that are very disconnected from where they are, it may look like some kind of madness. But if you put a method to that madness and you're able to understand that Brooklyn is not an illegitimate destination, but there's a process I need to go through to get there, but I can start with that end in mind and then begin to arrange my steps backwards. So, envision. Now, when I have a vision as an individual, I will be able to plug into the bigger vision of my organization, and I'll be able to use that vision to engage others. Now, many of us are doing businesses that require other people to join us in doing the businesses. So I know here we have a number of distributors. What exactly do you talk to your prospective distributors about? Do you talk to them about what they want to sell or what you want them to sell? Or are you connecting to a bigger picture that they also have as well? Are you investing sufficiently to understand where they are, where they want to go to, and showing them a clear picture of how what you are proposing to them can help them in that journey? I've seen someone here, for example, who says, I want to be financially free. If you want to be financially free and you're willing to be committed to your process to make it happen, maybe I can help you this way. I want to start an NGO. Good. This is what you need. I can help you this way. That all our conversations about selling, about interacting, about selling and not just telling, is about vision. It's about where do people want to go to? Where do they want to get to? What's the end that they have in mind? And what can we contribute to make that happen? It's all about win-win. How can they win and we win as well? How can we ensure that our win also interprets for them as a win? If I can't capture a vision for myself for 10 years, how can I enlist others? So I remember in my first company that I worked with, there's an interview question we always ask, we always, in one way or the other, ask, try to check leadership, try to check, as this person said, the goal before and achieved it. Where do you want to be? The company wants to sell you their vision. The company says, look, this is the journey we'll take you through. This is how you can be. This is what can happen. And that vision is told in words and it's told in people who have advanced through the ranks. Are we together? It's told in those ways. But guess what? That vision is when it connects to my vision. That's when we can go together. Okay? I remember what my interviewer told me. He said, look, this is where we're going. This is where you're going. It looks like we're going in the same direction. Why don't you join us? We'll allow you to move there faster. Travel with us. And after you travel with us for a while, if you feel like you need to alight from the bus, you've got to your bus stop, then by all means get to your bus stop. But this is where we're going. The same way with you, ladies and gentlemen. You need to have very clear enough vision before you can begin to engage and enlist. And I like what we're talking about, engage and enlist. The conversation was really about, you need to be authentic. Don't fake it. Don't lie to people about be real. This is what I want. These are your values. This is where you're going. Be authentic. Don't pour it on them. Take time out to listen. What does this person want? Where is this person going? Is there a clash in values? There's a clash in values, but probably won't work. Is there a sufficient alignment in values? Can I educate them about some other values that they can have? Once we create the alignment of where you're going and where you're going, I say, guy, this is where we're going. The way you want to go about it, you will achieve it in 1 year, but will it last? The way I want to go about it will take us a little more time to achieve it, but it will last. This is the advantage of this over this. This is where I'm going. This is where I see you are going. One of my mentors asked me a question one day. He said, Yolu, if all your dreams have been achieved by the time you are 40, what will you be doing? What next? Are you going to live with 70? Yeah, you're going to live with 70, so 30 years. What are you going to be doing with it? What does that mean? It means have a vision that contains 10 years. Have a vision that contains you for 30 years. Have a vision that contains you for, because guess what? For lack of vision, people perish. It also means that you are not qualified for a future you cannot see. It means if you can't see that future clearly, you are not really qualified for it. You are qualified to die from the day you can no longer see the front, see the future. Yes, you may still live on. Providence may still allow you to live on, but really, if you are going to see the future, if you are going to live in the future, it will be good that you have a clear plan of, this is what I want to do there. This is what I desire for my reality to be. Remember, desire is proof that the banquet exists. Desire is function-seeking performance, is possibility-seeking expression. And once I'm clear about that goal, somebody said, in the next 10 years, I'm financially independent, worth $10 billion through my businesses and investments. By 10 years from now, definitely causing impact in thousands of people, starting from a state as a leader. People who desire to lead them. I have a dream of leading my state as the state governor of my state by 2032. So in 10 years from now, I definitely will be in line with the face of my life. Then in 2045, I'll stop here first. I'm in the right place of my life with you by saying Season Friday. So it's excellent. I like it. I like it. I like the audacious. And guess what? Somebody sees that you have moved in the last few years, or you're moving constantly towards that. Guess what? People are going to ask you, how can we help? I always use the illustration in my physical classes. Usually my physical classes are packed. People are sitting row to row. I ask somebody in the middle somewhere to come to the front. Yeah? And that person in the middle somewhere who wants to come to the front, can't go to the side because it's long, can't go to the side because it's long, needs to force their way through the front and basically literally ask people, can you please excuse me? And then people carry their chair and move. People carry their chair and move. People carry their chair and move. People move around and move. And then they shift around. And this person walks to the front. And I say, congratulations. Why did they move their chairs for you? They said, because they knew you called me and I was going to the front. I said, yes. People always move and shift things to support somebody who is clear about where they're going. If you are clear about the vision that you have, it will command support. Try this out. Leave your house one day and then stop a car and say, please, I don't know the way to where I'm going. Can you help me? How do I get to Ojuelegba from here? This person has an assignment. This person has where they're going. They will pause, sometimes possibly go away from their journey and say, come, when you get to this place, do this. When you get to that place, do this. When you pass this junction, do that. Why are they spending their time on a stranger? Why? Because the way the world is wired, people will find it just natural and in their heart. There are some crazy people, but the average person will find natural in their heart to pitch in their own little quota into getting you to where you're going. I always tell people, if you can try, you can dare this. Maybe this will not work abroad, but it works in Nigeria. You can leave your house without any money and choose a destination you want to get to, and you will get there. It may take you a little more time, but you meet somebody who is willing to say, you know what, just enter. I'll take you, no problem. Yeah. And I think it works anywhere. I think we lose the courage to ask it when we get into some very comfortable and convenient environments. And of course, I won't do that today, but I've seen people who do this, not because they want to, but because they have nothing. And they have to get out of their houses. And they get out. And they go back. And somehow they know. And they're not ladies. So it's not for a favor. They're just stranded. And they know that they'll get to their destination. It has happened to me before. I remember one year I was traveling to school. And then somewhere on the way, the bus got stopped, and was stranded in a village I didn't know at night. It was the time before phones, so there was no mobile phones available like that. I didn't have a phone. I didn't have anything. My parents didn't know anything. Nobody knew anything. I was leaving from school. I was stranded. And guess what? I told myself I need to find somewhere to sleep tonight. And I asked myself, so what will I do? I need to survive. So what do I do? So I said, you know what? I'm going to look for a church. Where are they doing night vigil? I'll find a place where they're doing night vigil. I'll sleep there tonight. So I started looking from church to church in this little town. And finally, I found a church where they were praying. I joined them. And I thought it was a night vigil, but around 12 o'clock, they stopped praying. And everybody started going home. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to survive. So I tried to look for the pastor and said, you know what? I want to still pray. I'll stay here. Just give me space. I said, I don't know what's the problem. I said, well, my boss got spoiled, got stranded. I said, okay, hello, sir, can you help him? And somebody was willing to house me for the night. And now me, stranded, now became the person who became to suspect the person that wanted to help me. I started wondering, really? I'm going to sleep in somebody's house that I don't know. I prefer Jojo. But, I said, okay, let me play along. So I played along. And he said, no, come to my house. And I go to their house. And I told them, okay, they sleep. I'll sleep when I opened. And then they made amala and offered me food. And I'm like, am I going to eat? But I just made my ate. And then I slept and I woke up the next morning and I went to school. And I'm here. And what am I saying? I'm saying there is nothing you will not make it through. All you need to do is have very clear position about where you're going, where you're headed. And every other thing will arrange around the middle. So let's have clear vision. That same vision now needs to be told well. It needs to be told in an exciting, compelling way in order to engage other people to join you, not in serving your ideals or agenda, but in serving a shared, inspired goal. So something that you all have in common. Somebody wants to be free. Somebody wants to be independent. Somebody wants to be governor. Somebody wants Pan-African. Somebody wants a Nigeria that works. We all want similar things, ladies and gentlemen. Our goals overlap. at the point of the overlap, told correctly, is where we can inspire each other to follow on to an exciting and beautiful future. That's where we have the opportunity. And guess what? When I'm able to engage somebody else in my dream, in their dream, my dream that we share together, then I now need to learn how to empower them. And ladies and gentlemen, that empowered discussion just totally blew me up. Because empower is something I'm passionate and excited about. And I realized myself that, no, I need to empower more. So if you have been watching some of the videos that people have been doing on Zoom, people tell me things like, this is my first time doing training on Zoom, and I smile. And I say, well, you know what? You're going to do it. I'm not doing it for you anymore. You're going to do it. Oh, then there's a next phase after that. There's a next phase of empowerment after that. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I need to be free. I need to be like that master who traveled on a long journey and delegated the responsibility to his stewards. Yeah? And they worked and did all that they needed to do. And then he could come back and say, thank you. Well done. What have you done with talent? Yeah. You need to live in that. For you to be able to ever live in that space where the thing you want to get done gets done, whether you're actively involved there or not, you need to learn how to delegate. You need to learn how to delegate power, authority. You need to learn how to put energy and enthusiasm into others so that they can achieve what they want to achieve. Now, I'm sure there's a lot that's been written in the window I have not read, but I hope you're getting what I'm saying. Yeah? If you're getting what I'm saying in the house, can you say yes, 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 yes? It's making sense to you? Can I hear your yes? I want to close it on time today. Sorry. I'm supposed to be doing a recap and helping us channel in the right direction. So I'm going to give you an assignment. So call me Mr. Assignment because I want us to do this well. Write your vision. Have a clear vision of 10 years from now. If you like 20 years from now, 30 years from now. Yeah. We did this when we were in university. We said 5 years, 10 years. It's past. Many of us. It's 20 years now. So you said under 10, 20, 30 years. Said it. Set it one. Then two, write it in a compelling, shareable way. Because you need to share it as well. Because if you're going to engage others, you need to tell them a story. You need to be able to tell. You need to be able to show. Yeah. That's what people get. That connects deeply with me. Something I can relate with. It makes sense. Yeah. If you told me that some of the activities I'm doing now is what I would do 5 years ago, maybe not. But does it tie together with my vision? That's what's important. Does it help me achieve what I want to achieve? Does it get me to the space where I want to be? Yes. Is it developing the quality and skill sets needed for me to achieve what I want to achieve? Does it put me in the face of people? Does it put me in the face of influence and impact? Does it allow me to be able to change the nation the way I want to change the nation? Does it allow me to function in Nigeria, and how I want Nigeria to evolve? Yes. Okay. So my assignments: one, write down the vision. What exactly do you want to achieve 10 years from now and 20 years from now? That's the question. Somebody's asking for the question. So I ask people to write this here to show that the things we've been learning, we're not just learning them, we're practicing them. So it starts from you. As a leader, you need to become an example of what you want to achieve. So it starts from you. One. So this vision, this is a visioning. What's your own vision? Then that vision needs to now be plugged into a bigger vision. And then it needs to be told. So you need to draft this your goal in a way that somebody else can read it and it can engage them, because it connects with their own vision and their dreams as well. Okay? So engage. Write your story in an engaging way. And then write down the list of 4 to 10 people that you want to empower. Write down the names of 4 to 10 people that you want to empower. That in the next 5 years, their lives will not remain the same, because you would have delegated your power to them. You will have given them, everything you know to do. You will have supported the journey because you know that their journey is pushing where you want to get to and it's pushing where they want to get to, and you want to empower them. So 3 assignments. 1, envision. 2, write a story in a way that engages and enlists people. And 4, write down names of people that you want to empower. Okay. I think I'm going to pause it at this junction today. I'm sorry we didn't have the question and answer session. But we'll continue. So tomorrow at 8 p.m., we're going to have Dr. Kachio Nubogu. Somebody I have respect for. I met him. He was ahead of me 10 years into work before I got started. He's been MD in a number of places, marketing director in a number of places, an exceptional personality. We're going to learn from him tomorrow. I'm going to be there joining him as well to ensure that we can get the most value from him, to ask questions as well, to ensure that it can be beautiful for all of us. So that's going to happen tomorrow. Remember, Monday and Tuesday we do leadership. Saturdays is when we do marketing. We do growing your business, growing your brand on Saturdays. And then throughout the middle of the week, we do a variety of things. Institute of Network Marketing happens on Wednesdays, where we find somebody who is a giant in the industry to talk to us, and we learn from their lessons and learn what they're doing. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it is. Thank you for listening to me today. The videos for all the presentations past are available on YouTube. If you don't know where it is, please connect somebody and tell them to add you to the green community. That's where we're making everything available. So join the green community, connect with it. This video will be there as well for those who joined late. So you'll be able to listen and watch. We're also broadcasting this live on Facebook, so that if you're listening to this, you can find where's green community, how can I join the WhatsApp group, how can I join the community and be a part of it, and then how can I get to see and learn more. May we all achieve our dreams. Have a beautiful, beautiful evening, and God bless us all.